morning, good afternoon, good evening, Jar of Marble dwellers and Jar of Marble curious. My name is Linda and this is Jar of Marbles. This is Jar of Marbles. Jar of Marble. You right there, Bob?
Yeah, I'm good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Bob. This week, I'd like to talk.
You like a talk? I like a talk.
I'd like to talk a little bit about you can make new ideas stick, and we're just going to discuss that a little bit and talk about ways that you can actually do it. So what's that saying? You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
The saying you can't teach an old dog new tricks is a centuries-old proverb.
It is, actually. You're right, Bob. In fact, made popular by the 16th century English writer John Hayward.
Oh yes, old Johnny boy.
Yes, often used to suggest that it's difficult for people to change, especially as they grow older.
Bollocks!
That's right.
But, did you know that originally the saying was intended for the training of dogs?
Apparently so. As in training an old dog new tricks. Interestingly, the teaching style involved needing to be patient,
be consistent.
Yes, and use positive reinforcement training techniques. With dedication, you can make new ideas stick.
Of course you can.
Recent brain research highlights the remarkable capacity for lifelong learning and adaption.
Yeah, here we go.
Thanks to neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. This challenges the outdated belief that cognitive development halts after childhood, showing that people can continue to develop new skills and habits at any age.
So when you see a fly on the ceiling, did it fly upside down and land, or did it fly right side up and just flip when it got where it wanted to be?
Quite the consideration there, Bob.
Yeah, I thought so.
It really is. It's up to the individual. There has to be a want. There has to be a desire to learn. Otherwise, it's just an excuse to stay where you are, and maybe that's what you want to do, or circumstances aren't allowing you, too much scope. Hashtag, you can make new ideas stick. There's usually something we can change or give up so we have more money, for example. We may insist on buying things that we believe we must have but don't actually, need, and maybe they don't even help us, but we end up broke or worse, in debt.
Hate it when the voices on my head go silent. I never know what they're planning.
But for those who want to go beyond anything that they ever thought possible, then that's the big green flashing light. We must be patient with ourselves.
Yeah, shouting at a flower won't make it bloom.
Well, that's right, Bob.
Yeah, yelling, grow you bloody rose, show us your petals, come on you mole, come on.
Got it, Bob. Neuroplasticity in adulthood, while more pronounced during childhood, adults with engaging in activities such as learning a new language, playing an instrument, or adopting novel problem-solving techniques stimulates the brain, forming new neural pathways and strengthening existing ones. Regular mental challenges and consistent practice are essential to this process.
The emphasis is on regular.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think especially if it's something that lights you up.
Yeah. 365 days, 365 ways.
Good on you, Bob. Physical exercise. Regular movement increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor BDNF, which is a protein essential for forming and maintaining neural connections.
I once lived just a stone's throw away from a family who all died of mysterious head injuries.
Oh, Bob.
What?
Hashtag, you can make new ideas stick. The circle, your people, those that are around you, shape your life.
Oh, yes.
Be the bouncer at your door. Decide who gets in, who stays, and who needs to go. People who have constant problems and drama.
Oh, no, not drama.
Or their chaos, it spills into your life. Some folk live in perpetual worry and concern, and sometimes you can help, and sometimes you simply cannot. Sometimes you can't help because they're not making any different decisions. They are making the same choices or making the same purchases that sometimes do not serve them, and then borrowing money and forever in a cycle of never being ahead.
My wife told me I've grown as a person. Her actual words were, "You've gotten fat," but I know what she meant.
So, we are not helping if we are saving the day for others over and over. They don't have to get real about their situation. They don't have to get creative about the changes that indeed need to happen to change their fortune. If they don't get it or believe it, there's actually nothing you can do.
More stuff that takes you off track. I once bought a wooden car. Yes, it had a wooden engine and wooden doors, wooden wheels, wooden seats, and I put the wooden key in the wooden ignition.
And how did it start?
Wouldn't start.
Bob, these people can consider themselves simply unlucky and everyone else is just luckier than them when it is them not changing what needs to get kicked to the curb or getting on top of what needs to be sorted. It can also be so challenging if you don't have a lot of support. So when it means that you'll get there just might be a bit slower, but at least make the changes to invite true change and you will get there.
Yeah, because if nothing changes, right?
Well, that's right. Hashtag you can make new ideas stick. Some folk can get to be hard to be around because they declare that they are drowning again, still not making the appropriate changes to their lives. Still, kindness does matter, of course, and so does your peace. It's the finding of a fair and happy medium where you're not picking up the slack all the time simply because you can or you're expected to, because remember, you're lucky.
Woo! Hey, what did one DNA say to the other DNA? Do these genes make me look fat?
It is so important to be on track for your own life and not get mixed up in others' lives, be it good or otherwise. Protect your energy and, if you can, surround yourself with those who respect you and uplift you. While you're learning and maintaining ideas that stick, you don't need any naysayers in your life.
No, sirree.
Be around those, or at least in touch with those, who are interested in what you do. Life does not have to be that hard. Some people are just used to living on the edge and do nothing to change where they spend their money, all the while screaming poverty. Do nothing to change the friend pool they've been involved with, well, because they've known each other forever, but it's obviously one-sided. People that promise you help or tell you they're going to look after something for you because, well, it's their friends, but they don't ever come through.
Oh, godfathers, yeah, no.
Coming from a place of lack is not going to magnetise opportunity to you. You'll be too invested in how hard life is and how unlucky you are. Feel me? Hashtag you can make new ideas stick. I would say that it is worth checking in with yourself. And another thing, have you noticed that people in general can only be positive when things are going their way? And about change, that can be a bit of a bumpy transition, can't it? So keeping your eye on your dream, the prize, is key. And for real, if you like the idea of changing, or if you really...
Really?
Yeah, the three reallys. If you really want to change, it is so possible, a very real possibility, and I have seen it magnetise so powerfully in my own life by just changing my thinking and just staying on top of those thoughts. Because I have taken some new ideas to create a more expansive mindset, which I'll outline later in this episode, and I stick with it. Very quickly, I start feeling better, and soon I start seeing the improvements around me. The changes, though, have to be felt from inside you, but you know that, and so then you will start seeing the changes outside of you. I am prone to thinking about what I want to change, especially when I'm bored or perhaps I'm feeling a little bit stagnant.
You stagnant?
Oh, shut up, Bob. It may be a fleeting feeling, but enough to make me sit up and pay attention. You will know what I mean. Say you've had a bit of a shock. Someone you thought, say, was a good friend, for example, and you know they are not really a good fit for you, but you persevere. Then it falls apart. Massive cracks begin to appear and you are forced to get honest with yourself. Those are the times I realise I've been abandoning my own life path. For example, I've been busy being distracted and accepting of little. This usually is me looking for an idea, and if I'm not in the right company, the ideas are scoffed at, or people can be quite condescending totally disinterested. And let me tell you, they are not really in a position to be condescending. But this is where I can get quite determined. I break out of what is making me feel uncomfortable, or whoever's making me feel uncomfortable, and I head in a direction that is of growth. And I love it. I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way. I get a strong feeling of gratitude that I've woken up to what is going on. And I might not know details, but the feeling is enough. You notice that the words of support, the so-called I'll be there, they're actually not. They do a bare minimum, and perhaps we've always allowed that. But I was realising too, and this was a big one for me, that I deserve so much more. You do. We all do. And when you know that, like really know that, the average behaviour of others really sticks out like, don't say it, Bob, dog's balls. So in regard to gratitude, it is a creative energy that makes miracles happen. Oh, I do like that.
I was wondering if you were going to give us a bit of applause.
Yeah, because it's true. If being happy is your goal, make sure one of your paths lead to a forest, the beach, hills or mountains, and on some days to a table laden with your favourite food. Walk barefoot whenever and wherever you can. Learn to love your time alone. Always let your heart hope. Oh yes, love and dream. Be honest with yourself. Expand your story and make enjoyment important in your life. And also see your age as a blessing. You are the director of your life. Be yourself and stay true to your path no matter what others say. What do they know? What example are they demonstrating? It's your life, not theirs. I love people and I treat people with respect, but I'm numero uno, just as you are. I must look after me, respect myself well first. We must be examples, live by example, and a friendly reminder that you have zero control over how other people perceive you. So you might as well just be the person you want to be anyway.
All right, yes!
Hashtag, you can make new ideas stick. Of course you bloody can. Embracing the excitement of learning new ways of being, wonderful stuff. Change is often seen as daunting.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, I think, Bob, that there's a general belief that we often don't analyse or really think about, and we accept the general buzz of change is hard. You hear people saying they don't like change. I believe that it is just a bit of verbiage that spills out of our mouths. I don't think that it's actually true. But, because it's also a bit of an exhilarating adventure, and you'll make it so, especially if you're seeking change. You look forward to it, in fact. Learning new ways of being, whether it's developing healthier habits, shifting your mindset, whether it's giving up spending money on things that do not actually benefit you at all, lift you up, living beyond your means to maintain habits that are stopping you from loving your life, getting ahead, maybe paying your bills, albeit slowly. If you make small changes, you will start seeing yourself get ahead. It is the developing of a new mindset that serves you.
That's the one you're interested in most, aren't you?
Yep, mindset. Or perhaps adopting a new approach to relationships. Looking honestly at your mindset offers an invitation to transform not only how you live, but also how you perceive yourself. The journey to make these changes stick can be one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. I hear people getting their knickers in a knot about other family members being allegedly, that's right, unthoughtful, not very thoughtful, and not bending, and get upset when people aren't bending to their will.
Allegedly?
Yeah, some people have a penchant just to be unhappy and judgmental, and that's how they see the whole world through this tiny little telescope, and God help you if you don't agree. By goodness, it's a snore. Some people don't realise how lucky they are, fair dinkum. Then there's the thrill of discovery.
Yeah, establish dominance by putting glitter in Christmas cards.
Every change starts with a spark of curiosity. It might be the excitement of discovering a more effective way to manage stress, the joy of mastering a skill that enhances your life, or the empowerment that comes from challenging old, unhelpful patterns.
Not everyone's going to think you're gorgeous, amazing and magical, but they're wrong though.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bob.
Yeah, they're dickheads.
Learning new ways of being taps into our innate drive for growth, offering a sense of possibility and renewal. And I've got to say, I love that. There's a special thrill in realising I can do things differently. That moment of clarity is like opening a door to a new chapter. Well, it is. One where you're no longer bound by outdated habits or beliefs. There's no doubt that change is a process. Sometimes we are well aware that it's going on, and other times we may not.
Oh, no.
Oh, no?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, Bob, when I know that I'm going through change, I'm totally aware of it. Hashtag, you can make new ideas stick. Maybe things feel a bit acute, raw. Perhaps you feel unsettled. You're heading in a different direction. Maybe something has happened that has forced the change.
Oh, yeah.
If we're honest with ourselves, whatever has occurred often is the catalyst required to kickstart a new beginning, a new direction.
So, what about when you don't know who you are or know you are?
I think it's when you're distracted from our own goals. We may be putting too much energy into something or someone that may or may not deserve such dedication. And again, if we're being really honest, really ready to be honest with ourselves, we know when we're not putting the time and energy into what really turns us on, so to speak.
The thing.
Yeah, the thing that you quite enjoy. Maybe enjoying is a bit of a stretch at the beginning of it, or even in the middle, because we can fall into traps when we're making changes, where if we think what we are doing perhaps is not good enough, we might give up too soon. So I'm just here to say, don't give up. We all need daily tasks to keep ourselves in the game. Showing up for myself is my daily task.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
My wife asked me, why don't you treat me like you did when we were first dating? So I took her out to dinner and a movie, and I dropped her off at her parents'.
Oh, Bob. I talk to my daughters regularly, and one of them was saying that she gets so busy that she sometimes forgets to think about her own ideas and her own personal goals, forgets to visualise them, and then also with the visualisation have an expectation around them, and it makes her feel inspired and excited when she remembers what power actually lies in her mind. So I just told her about writing down what her dream is, her goal, and have it, in this instance, written down in front of her computer screen, because that's where she is all day, where she can see it, read it through the course of her very busy day, and at least through the day a few times her eyes will fall upon her written words, and then she can immediately visualise, put an expectation around it, expecting it to happen, and it just makes her feel like $1 million. It inspires her. Then she can carry on with her work knowing that she's also fulfilling her own growth too. Instead of clinging to limiting beliefs, we can embrace sayings that inspire growth at any age. It's never too late to learn. Age is just a number. You're never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream. That by C.S. Lewis. These reminders celebrate the human capacity for lifelong learning and encourage people to keep growing no matter their age. It just doesn't fly anymore about age holding you back. And sometimes we outgrow people who aren't growing.
Whoa, there it is. Whenever I see chocolate, I hear two voices in my head. One of them says, eat the chocolate, and the other one says, you heard him, eat the chocolate.
Hashtag, you can make new ideas stick. We can be guilty of self-fulfilling prophecies in our own lives. If people internalise the idea that they can't learn, they're less likely to try, reinforcing the belief. So change the way you talk to yourself. Start the business, the podcast, learn the instrument, pick up your guitar, gathering dust, teach yourself stuff. The thing. That's right. Learn skills that make you happy or apply for jobs, whatever it is. Ageism, it perpetuates stereotypes about older adults, marginalising their contributions and discouraging society from investing in their education or development. And so what do you think of that, Bob?
Ah, bollocks, it's poppycock.
Ageism, a societally maintained paradigm. Total bollocks then. Yeah, this is bullshit. Debunking the myth. Grandma Moses began her painting career in her 70s, and Colonel Sanders franchised Kentucky Fried Chicken in his 60s. Oh, I love the actor Alan Rickman, who is best known for his role in Harry Potter. Potter started his career in a completely different field. Before his days as a famous actor, he pursued a career in graphic design. In Die Hard in 1988, but in Harry Potter, He was 55. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, just his voice, but still incredible. He was gorgeous as a sheriff in Robin Hood. How could we forget his amazing performance in Galaxy Quest?
You liked him, didn't you?
Amazing artist, yes, died too soon. So why the saying persists with older people not as able to learn new ideas and make them stick?
The more I think of it, it's just bollocks, isn't it? Bollocks, really it.
Yeah, it is. Cultural bias. Society often glorifies youth, equating it with energy, adaptability and potential.
That's describing you full of energy and life.
Thanks, Bob. While older age is stereotyped as a period of decline.
Not really you.
Not really me. When in reality, older people with new technologies or methods is easily mastered. There are impressive examples of successful late life learners. Bob Ross spent 20 years in the US Air Force. Upon retiring, he taught himself how to paint.
He sounds like someone I know.
And Bob Ross became everyone's favourite painting teacher at the age of 41. Charles Darwin, he was 50 years old before he published On the Origin of Species in 1859, the book that espoused the theory for which he best known today. And maybe you don't want to be internationally famous, but maybe you want to head in a direction that you might not have considered seriously before. Ask yourself, what does this new direction look like? Why does it matter to me? How will it improve my life? Maybe you already know the answers. They may have been questions you've been asking yourself for ages or long ago, etc. Either way, creating a vivid mental picture or even writing down your goals helps anchor your efforts. Discipline becomes easier when you're deeply connected to the why behind your new path.
Yeah, the why. Oh, yes, the why.
And through this, you are on your way to the beginning to making new ideas stick.
How exciting.
Yes, it is. And making realistic and actionable goals. Big changes are daunting if viewed as a monolithic task. Break them down into manageable bites. Set short-term achievable goals. Make each step measurable and specific. For example, instead of saying, I want to write a book, you could set a goal, today I'm going to write 200 words every morning. Discipline grows stronger when you see consistent progress.
That's what you did, isn't it?
Yep. Set a goal of 500 words a day until my book was finished. And in the end, it got very easy to punch out those 500 words daily. Hashtag, you can make new ideas stick. Discipline thrives on consistency. Building a habit doesn't happen overnight, but repeating small actions cements new behaviours. Consider, even on days when motivation wanes, showing up consistently reinforces your commitment to the new direction.
The old commitment thing.
I do. I feel commitment is very sexy.
Oh, Godfather, should I leave the studio?
You do you, boo. Cultivating a growth mindset, believing that you can improve with effort, helps you to push past self-doubt, and it feels great.
My girlfriend's always stealing my T-shirts and sweaters, but if I take one of her dresses, suddenly we need to talk.
I hear you, Bob. Embrace challenges as opportunities to grow. Learn to view setbacks as lessons rather than proof of inadequacy. And especially for those that are older, we know setbacks will happen and we get good at riding it because we know that they will pass.
I love that.
Yeah, viewing the setbacks as what's going on here? What do I need to review? Reset is a powerful tool. Being true to you will never get old.
Yeah, but you are old.
Yeah, old as dirt, Bob. Old as dirt and it rocks.
You don't care, do you? No.
Accountability. Having someone to hold you accountable can significantly boost your discipline. So it's so important and helpful. We all need to borrow a bit of accountability at times.
Borrow accountability?
Yeah. Have a mate to meet you at the gym or go for a walk or to call and ask if you've said your affirmations, whether it's maybe until you're off and running off and away on your own. But I am a bit of a fan of ongoing accountability. It's so helpful. Gives you that sense of attaining goals, a deadline of sorts, and the completing of it just feels awesome.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
So yes, share if you can your goals with a trusted friend, mentor or support group. Knowing someone is cheering for you or watching your progress can really help you to stay on track when your resolve falters.
Yeah, so true. Hey, why did the belt go to jail? For holding up pants.
Discipline.
Do I like discipline?
Yeah, you do, Bob, if you want to make real changes.
Oh, okay then.
Because discipline often means saying no to distractions and competing demands. This requires you to identify your priorities and eliminate time wasters.
Yeah, the time wasters.
Set boundaries with others, explaining that your new focus is essential. When you prioritise your goal, it becomes less about finding the time and more about making the time.
Making the time, yes, I hear you.
Life rarely goes exactly as planned. Discipline doesn't mean rigid adherence to a plan. It's about staying committed even when you need to adjust.
Still sounds complicated.
Well, it's not. It would or could get complicated if you don't have some kind of discipline, a promise to self while allowing room for life's unpredictability. Having contingency plans for challenges. Resilience ensures you don't give up when the first roadblock appears. And that is really, really important.
Not just important.
Yes, super important, because roadblocks will appear. So, no matter where you are in life, the best time to start is now. Why not take that first step today? Learning new information can be challenging at any age, but there are practical strategies to make it easier to retain and recall. And here are a few proven techniques that help solidify new knowledge and memory. So you've got active learning. Engage with the material instead of passively reading or listening. Interact with the information. Take notes, summarise, ask questions. This keeps your brain actively involved in the learning process. Teach what you've learned. Explaining concept to others or even to yourself forces you to understand and organise the material better, reinforcing your memory. Spaced repetition. Review information at increasing intervals. Rather than cramming, space out your study lessons. This technique, known as spaced repetition, helps transfer information from short-term to long-term memory.
Really?
Yeah, really. Chunking. Break information into smaller groups. Our brains tend to struggle with remembering large amounts of information at once, so instead group related information into chunks. For example, when you're learning a phone number, you remember it in smaller segments rather than as one long string of numbers. Use acronyms or mnemonics. Mnemonics and acronyms help condense information into memorable patterns, making recall easier.
Yeah, I had a photographic memory, but I never developed it. Get it? Never developed it. Yeah.
You're right, Bob. Visualization. Create mental images, visualizing concepts or creating mind maps. Help solidify abstract ideas.
Did you hear about the rubber band slingshot that was confiscated in algebra class for being a weapon of math disruption?
Oh, good on you, Bob. Storytelling, turning information into a narrative, helps tie it together, making it more relatable and easier to recall.
This girl, she said she recognised me from the vegetarian club, but I never met her before. Yeah, before, yeah. Good one, yeah.
So, yeah, multisensory learning. Engage multiple senses. The more senses involved in learning, the more pathways the brain creates to store the information. So interesting, isn't it? Try incorporating audio, visuals, or even physical actions related to the material. Sleep and rest. Got to mention the sleep and rest. You've got to prioritise your sleep. Sleep plays a critical role in memory consolidation, ensuring that you're well rested as the brain processes and solidifies memories during sleep. This is so important and a fantastic, a lot of scientific research behind that to back that up.
I was thinking that the shovel was a groundbreaking invention.
Thanks for that, Bob.
Yeah, you're right.
Take breaks. Study or practice in short, focused bursts, like the Pomodoro technique, followed by short breaks. This keeps your brain fresh and prevents burnout.
My wife told me to stop personating a flamingo. Had to put my foot down.
Connect new knowledge to existing knowledge. Relate new information to what you already know. Try to find connections between the new material and existing knowledge.
Well, you're so old you'd be able to do that.
Well, one would think so, Bob, yeah. This creates a framework in your mind that makes new information easier to understand and remember. Use analogies. It's another great help. It'll only ever have to make sense to you and therefore easier to remember. Remember, healthy lifestyle choices, exercise, physical activity has been shown to improve brain function and memory. Even short walks can boost cognitive performance. Eat well. Foods rich in omega-3s like fish and antioxidants like berries help support brain health and improve memory. And of course, stay hydrated. Dehydration can impair cognitive functions. I like to put some salt, some crystals in my mouth, eat those, followed by drinking my water, deeply nourishing. And by incorporating these strategies into your learning process, you can significantly enhance your ability to absorb and retain new information.
A recent study has found that women who carry a little extra weight live longer than the men who mention it.
Bob, you're terrible.
Yeah, no.
Hashtag you can make new ideas stick. The more concise and clear your idea, the easier it is to remember and share, keeping it simple always. And that is the end of another episode.
Oh, no, I was just getting comfy. I'm ready to be disciplined.
No, Bob, organise your own discipline.
Fair income.
Fair income, Bob. Thank you as also for joining me.
And me.
Thanks for tuning in today's episode. If you enjoyed the content, please consider giving us a like. It helps our algorithms reach more people like you. And if you know someone who might benefit from what we've discussed today, don't hesitate to share it with them. Your support helps us keep creating great content. Until next time, take care, keep listening. So say good day to the family for me, give the budgie a kiss, and we'll see you next time, okay? Okay then, bye.
Bye.